So I went to Pyeongchang because I wanted to see where the Olympics was taking place. Can you say FAIL? I failed big time. Okay, so I've never done this before, but I wanted to do a story time about how I went to Pyeongchang for the Olympics. More like a fail. So what happened was yesterday I left my place around 7:15 in the morning to meet up with the person I was going with. So we planned to meet at the bus stop here at 7:30. So we got on the bus around probably 7:40 in the morning to leave from our city area. Then we got to downtown Chonan. 7:55. I remember checking the time because we bought the ticket to go to Seoul, and our bus wasn't going to leave until 8:35, so we had like 40 minutes to kill there. That's why the day started like very weird. Okay, this one guy, as we were minding our own business, just sitting there waiting for the bus to come, the guy came over. He has a limp. I also don't think he was in his right senses. He came over and he was like trying to ask us where we're from and what we do. The whole time I was mute. I wasn't even making eye contact with him. I didn't respond. Well, the girl that was with me was entertaining him, and that was her fault. Okay, so he started talking about how he speaks English, Korean, Japanese, and Chinese, and he works as an interpreter. Nobody asked him. So he was asking us how long we'd been living in Korea because he wanted to know if we could speak Korean. And the girl said, oh, about a month for her anyway, and that she doesn't speak Korean yet. He was like, really? It's so easy. Can you say ajushi? Can you say ajuma? Can you say thank you? And all these things. I was just like, oh, just go away. It made me so uncomfortable that I had to just leave. Okay. Fast forward, we got to Seoul, and we got to the express bus terminal. Then we took 2 subway trains to get to where we were taking our bus from to go to Pyeongchang. So we were taking a bus from Dong-Seoul, and the bus departed at 10:40. It was a long, like close to 3 hours actually. It was like 2 hours and 45 minutes. And the ride wasn't bad. I slept for most of it. And then we got to this place, and it says Pyeongchang bus terminal. I honestly didn't know where we were supposed to alight from the bus. We just bought a ticket to go to Pyeongchang. So we didn't know there were options for bus stops. Dumb, I know. But this nice guy who was getting off the bus turned around to look at us and said, oh, this is Pyeongchang bus terminal. So I assumed he was telling us so we could get off too. So we got off. I think that's where we first went wrong. When we were getting off, I saw that there were some people still on the bus, and I was like, I wonder if we should have stayed, but I didn't know what to ask. I didn't know where our stop was supposed to be at, so we got off. So when we got off, we're now trying to figure out how to go from here, where we were in the middle of nowhere, to the Pyeongchang Olympic Park, which is where we have in mind to explore. Bear in mind, we're not going for an event. Thank God. Okay, so we got there, and there was a nice volunteer there who spoke a little English, but was also using her phone to communicate with us. So she was telling us, so around this time we got to this bus stop around 1:15, and she was looking for what time the next shuttle that comes over there was going to arrive to maybe pick us up to where we're going. She told us 2:05. So I was like, I guess we would just walk around and eat lunch or something. So as we were like trying to figure out what we were gonna do next, there was a young couple behind us who were about to get into a taxi, and they were going to Pyeongchang station, which is a train station. And so the volunteer who was helping us asked them if my friend and I could join them, and we could just, at least we'll be out of this middle of nowhere place and go somewhere closer to maybe where our final destination is. So this very nice couple let us join them in a taxi. Very nice, very kind, especially the girl who spoke more English than her boyfriend, and she was asking us questions. She wanted to know where we were going so she could figure out how to help us get closer, because they're not going to where we're going. So we got the gist that we're supposed to go to Jimbu station, but the taxi driver said if he takes us to Jimbu station in his taxi, we'd be paying $50 as fare. Excuse me, no, I don't have that much money. So, but if we get dropped off at the Pyeongchang station, we'd be paying $17. So we opted for that. So we took that. So we arrived at the station. Oh my God, why am I stuttering? And the couple was supposed to just go their own way, but the girl came over and she said, if you need me to help you before I leave, I can help you some more. Of course, we said for her to help us. So she said she was going to help us. So she was looking around for a staff who could help us. And luckily enough, we found like these 3 young boys who were volunteers wearing the Pyeongchang like jumpsuit or whatever it is. And so she told them where we would like to go. And she ended us over to them. So they took my phone. They were trying to look at where I was going, where we would like to go. And the boys looked at us and said, we recommend that you go to Jimbo Station. And we're like, okay, we got it. And they told us to come up with them. So we went to the 2nd floor of the station. And they handed us over to another volunteer lady whose English was excellent. Like, she understood us and we could understand her. And you know how like volunteers have to wear name tags? She wore a name tag that just says the word English on it. So clearly that's her job, to help lost foreigners like us. So she told us we would take a train from where we were on Pyeongchang station. I had grape in my mouth. That was weird. Okay, to Jimbo Station, and then she gave us a map, and then she told us from that Jimbo Station we'll take one of the shuttles, TS30, to Pyeongchang Olympic Park, and from there it was gonna be easy. Okay, so we bought a train ticket, and soon after we got on the train, we got to Jimbo Station, and right outside the station, it's not hard to find lines. You see the line of people, and we got on the shuttle. Around this time, it was 2. So I wrote down some time, so I'm just gonna be looking at it. So I remember I was starting the shuttle at 2:46, and oh my God, if the driver that was driving us drove any slower, we would have never gotten anywhere, by the way, because so many buses and cars just drove past us, and I'm sitting there like, mister, I really need you to hurry. Oh my God, I'm speaking ahead of myself. Okay, what happened was after we arrived in Jimbo Station, before we got onto the shuttle, we thought it would be smart for us to buy our return ticket back home because we didn't want to be stuck in Pyeongchang with nowhere to stay and nowhere to return home. So we went to the ticket office and we said we'd like to get a ticket back to Seoul. Every ticket for Seoul for that night was booked. Standing, sitting, crawling, sleeping on the train, everything was booked. And we're like, how would we get home? So we said, okay, our final destination is Cheonan. Can you find any other city that the train goes to where we can find a connection to Cheonan? And then she found the city, Cheongyangni, and she found a departure train, a train departing at 5:19. Okay, this time was around 2:30, around this time that we arrived at this ticket office. So we're like, okay, so we are left now, between now and then, 2.5 hours, right? 2.5 hours. So we said we'd buy the ticket. So we bought the ticket because that was the only choice. Like, there was nothing else. So we bought ticket for a train leaving at 5:19. Okay, so now back to the shuttle. We got on the shuttle. We were in line, got on the shuttle from 2:46. And then the shuttle, we arrived at Olympic Park around 3:20, around that. And it started snowing there. We didn't really know what to do, really. We just wanted to go there and take pictures and walk around and like sightseeing, you know. But now we were like 3:20, we're down to like an hour 40 minutes before our train departs. But we also have to think about whether how long the line would take to get back onto the shuttle to return back home. So I took a bunch of like pictures at this high ice sculpture area. We saw this traditional performance by like ajushis and ajumas, and took some pictures and videos and clips, and then we were there for like 40 minutes, give or take, maybe not that long. We spent the rest of the time standing in line to get on the shuttle back home. So we got in line for the shuttle at 4:15 p.m., okay? And I don't remember what time the shuttle came, but we arrived at the station back 4:55, okay? So we have some time to kill now because we're at the station. So we try to buy snacks, but the prices for them were like way higher than they were at regular stores. So I'm like, nah, I'm not buying snacks. I'm just going to wait till we get home, because all day we didn't eat meal. We didn't eat food, except for the 2 corns that I got at the station in Seoul before we left in the morning. That was the only thing I had, and the hot cocoa I had in my apartment before I left. So no food. So we waited until they called our train. We got a standing ticket, by the way, for KTS to go back to Pyeongchang. The ride was about an hour, let's just say that. We got there, and then I knew the way from here now because I can follow the direction to line 1 that takes us directly back to our city, so we don't have to take another bus or whatnot. Just takes us to our backyard. So we got on that train, and the commute was supposed to be 2.5 hours. I didn't know it was gonna be that long, but it all makes sense because our commute was like nearly 4 hours to get to Pyeongchang. So we got on the train and we're just like, just sit here. I brought my Sudoku with me and I was doing Sudoku. And yeah, and halfway through the ride, I hear, so thank God for Korean subway system. They speak 3 languages on the subways. They speak Korean, English, and then Chinese. So after he spoke the Korean announcement, and then he said something in Chinese, in English about this is the last stop. But I didn't think much of it because I was like, he just says this line all the way to my city. But I saw everybody on the train, on the subway get off, so we just got off too. And then we realized we're just going to switch onto another train and then keep going. So we switched and had to wait for like 5 to 10 minutes for the second train to come. And we got on the second train, like halfway through the 2.5 hour commute. And I walked into my apartment around 9:20 p.m. I left my house around 7:20 in the morning, arrived 16 hours later, and only to spend 30 to 40 minutes at Pyeongchang Olympic Park. It was a big fail. Was it worth it? No, not for me anyway, because okay, granted, I didn't break bank to travel there because traveling in Korea is quite cheap and affordable. I really, really love that. But I could have been sleeping yesterday. I could have been watching Netflix. I could have been doing nothing. You know, instead of having that long commute only to spend 30 minutes there. I didn't even get to buy the Olympics tiger, the little doll that I wanted to buy. I had to ask another friend to get it for me. So it wasn't worth it, but I can say I went to an Olympics venue, I guess. Not really. But yeah, that was my Pyeongchang Olympics sightseeing fail. I don't know what I'm trying to do here, but I just wanted to attempt this, and this is my new apartment, and I've never done any video like this before where I sit in front of the camera. But yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.